Hi there, my name is Miss Townsend and I love math. Welcome to Math with Townsend. This video is for grade 10 students who are working on the linear systems test. In this video, I'll take up one of the word problems from the unit review. And the question we're going to look at is the question involving mixtures. So, let me get rid of this. So here's the question we're going to do. It's from the review and it says, at a silversmith's shop, they have alloys that contain 40% silver and others that contain 50% silver. Custom order for a bracelet requires 150 grams of material that is 44% silver. How much of each alloy should be melted together to make the bracelet? So, as I've told you many times, the first thing to do is really focus on just what it is you're trying to find. I'm trying to find how much of each alloy. So there is an alloy that is a 40% alloy, and there's a 50% alloy. So you can think of them as alloy number 1 and alloy number 2. So if I were to answer this question, how would I describe how much alloy I have? Like, how am I measuring the alloy? Is it the size of the alloy? Is it the, what else would you do? I don't know. The only way of measuring that's given in the question is that there's a certain weight that I want in the final product. So if I told you how much of alloy 1, I would be telling you how much it weighs. So that tells me what to do with X. I'm going to let X be the weight of alloy number 1. So weight is in grams. Oh, that's a little computer glitch. Let me just fix that. Weight is in grams. And I'll also just make sure I put here that that is the 40% alloy. So if X is the weight of alloy number 1, then Y is going to be the weight of alloy number 2. And again, I'm measuring weight in grams, and just to be sure that I don't forget, alloy number 2 is the 50%. So I have a chunk of metal. So I don't know how many of you have melted metal. I know I haven't, but I have a chunk of metal. It's a silver alloy, so it just looks like a piece of metal. And I know that 40% of this content is pure silver. And I have another chunk over here. So there's my second chunk. And again, it's a silver, just chunk of metal. And this one's 50%. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw them both into a pot. And that pot is very hot. It's on fire. So that I can melt them together into this pot and create 150 grams total, that is 44% silver. So I already know that I want X grams of this guy and Y grams of this guy, because that's how I define my variables. So I can already tell you that in total I need 150 grams. So if I add together the amount I put in from X and the amount I put in for Y, I will have a total of 150 grams. Now, the rest of the information tells me that I need 44% to be silver. So let's calculate what is 44% of 150 grams. So 44% of 150 grams is 66. So that means that 66 grams of the final product needs to be pure silver. So what do we know about X and Y in terms of pure silver? Well, I know that 40% of every gram of X is silver. And I know that 50% of every gram of Y is pure silver. And altogether, I need 66 grams of pure silver. And those are my two equations. And once I have my two equations, now I just have to try solving. So I'm going to take a breath. You just heard me take a breath because I've done the word problem part, and now I'm going to do the algebra part. So I'm going to solve by elimination. These are both set up in substandard form. So if I multiply the first equation by 0.40, I will make my x coordinates match. So I'll have 0.40x plus 0.40y equals 0.4 times 150, which is 6. Nope, 60. Haha, almost made a mistake. I mean, I did, but I noticed it, so it doesn't count. So, if you correct your mistakes, they're no longer mistakes. You have learned. So 0.4 times x, 0.4 times y, and 0.4 times 150. And then that way I can take the second equation exactly as it is, which is 0.40x plus 0.50y equals 66. And if I subtract my equations, I will be eliminating x. So 0.4y minus 0.5y is negative 0.10y, and 60 minus 66 is negative 6. So now if I divide negative 6 divided by 0.1, I get that y equals 60. And if y equals 60, pretty easy to figure out what x has to be, because x plus y is 150, equals 150. And therefore, if y is 60, then x must be 90. And I could say, therefore, I need 90 grams of alloy number 1, which is the 40% guy, and 60 grams of alloy number 2. So, good. I hope that was helpful. And keep studying, keep practicing math, because that's the only way to study math. Bye.